Then it would be bad for the I know. Okay, so you see Dan, right? Why would Dan move up here? It's isolated from Sidon and it's lush, and you're like, okay, let's come here. When Abraham, think of this, when Abraham rescues Lot. Okay, I'm going to just let you go back to Stepping Stone 2, way back there. He rescues Lot. It says that he comes all the way up and rescues him at Laish. This is Laish.
Wow.
So he pursues him all the way up to Laish. He goes by another name. When Joshua lists the places that where he's conquered, he lists Baal Gad, and this is Baal Gad as well. So Joshua comes up this far. It's one of the villages he takes out. And then this First Kings section, Dan moves up here at the end of the book of Judges 18. And you get up here to chapter 12. So Rehoboam and Jeroboam in the split of the kingdoms, right? Got the Boam brothers. They're not brothers. Right? Jeroboam and Rehoboam. And then, if you got your Bible, 1 Kings 12:25. Jeroboam fortified Shechem in the hill country of Ephraim and lived there. There he went up and built up Peniel. That was the capital on the east side of the Jordan River. Here we go. Jeroboam thought to himself, the kingdom will now likely revert to the house of David if these people go up to offer sacrifices in the temple of Yahweh in Jerusalem. So after seeking advice, verse 28, after seeking advice, the king made 2 golden calves. He said to the people, it's too much for you to go to Jerusalem. Here are your gods, O Israel, who brought you up out of Egypt. But one he set up in Bethel, and the other
Dan.
Right here. And you can see the foundations of the altar of Jeroboam. And based on the dimensions of the altar, you can recreate what the altar would have been like. So the aluminum there, to the god Alcoa. No, but that's the size of it. Now, what's fascinating is it's the same dimensions that are given for Solomon's altar in Jerusalem.
Interesting.
So the one that Jeroboam sets up here mimics what's going on in Jerusalem. Yeah. And if you think back to the book of Judges 18, remember when they came up here, they brought with them a prophet, a priest. Remember how they stole the priest? They brought him up here. So they bring a priest up here, they start their own stuff up here, and they just, Dan then is this place that's a spiritual kind of mystical place. You got water coming out from underneath the ground. Isn't that awesome? And so you can come up here, it's already a spiritual place, and so of course, Jeroboam says, well sure, we're going to set one up at Dan. And then he picks Bethel because of Jacob's place. Let's walk up to their steps again.
It's like Sedona, spiritual place.
Exactly.
The vortex.
This is not a small building.
Nope.
Pretty sizable, and you go up to the temples. There's a holy place and a holy of holies on the far side. You used to be able to walk up it, but you can't anymore. And so the idea that you have the altar in front, it's the same setup as it was in Jerusalem, right? See this? You got the altar in front. You come in. There's a holy place, and then the holy of holies further in. And so this was set up just to mimic what was going on in Jerusalem. This is Jeroboam. From this point on, the tribe of Dan is really the great symbol of apostasy throughout the scripture. Kind of goes off, does its own thing. This is why, if you go to Revelation 14, that's not going to be right. Revelation 7. And let's start at verse 1. This is the seals. And maybe you've done the book of Revelation in like a class or you got it. Yeah, Revelation is a fascinating book. It's a really difficult book. You got to know the Old Testament before you can understand Revelation. Because most of the symbols that come in the book of Revelation come out of the Old Testament. And John has no problem mixing metaphors and pulling something out of Ezekiel and then something out of Daniel and something out of Leviticus and throwing them together and trying to create one picture. So it is this mosaic of the Old Testament put together for the images and the messages that are in there. It's in the apocalyptic style literature, as you know, which is it's kind of this great battle that's going to be happening. But one of the unique things about the way it's written is that it tells its story 7 times, right? And it tells it seven times. It's not like a progressive story. Like I'll tell the first part of the story, then chapter 2, then chapter 3, and it goes progressively. It tells the same story 7 times, but from 7 different perspectives. Like you're walking around the victory of Jesus 7 times. And so in chapter 6. It's these seals, and every time he opens a seal, he reveals something that's going to happen. They line up perfectly with Matthew 24, where Jesus says this is what's going to happen between now and the second coming. So there's going to be persecution and famines and earthquakes, and so the first seals demonstrate that. The 5th seal is martyrs. But then before the last seal is open, you get to chapter 7. Somebody would pick up at chapter 7 and read from there to verse 8, please.
After this I saw 4 angels standing at the 4 corners of the earth, holding back the 4 winds of the earth, that no wind might blow on earth or sea or against any tree. Then I saw another angel ascending from the rising of the sun, with the seal of the living God, and he called with a loud voice to the 4 angels who had been given power to harm earth and sea, saying, do not harm the earth or the sea or the trees, until we have sealed the servants of our God on their foreheads. And I heard the number of the seal, 144,000, sealed from every tribe of the sons of Israel. 12,000 from the tribe of Judah were sealed, 12,000 from the tribe of Reuben, 12,000 from the tribe of Gad, 12,000 from the tribe of Asher, 12,000 from the tribe of Naphtali, 12,000 from the tribe of Manasseh, 12,000 from the tribe of Simeon, 12,000 from the tribe of Levi, 12,000 from the tribe of Issachar, 12,000 from the tribe of Zebulun, 12,000 from the tribe of Joseph, 12,000 from the tribe of Benjamin were sealed.
There's a full number, and this is that use of numbers in apocalyptic literature, 144,000, 12 being the number of God's people, 12 times 12, 10 being a full number, 10 times 10 times 10 being the fullness of the number. And so you take 12 by 12, times 10 by 10 by 10, 144,000. It's really common for the way apocalyptic literature works. This is not strange. People understood this in its day. And so 144,000 is the number of the full people of God. Follow that? Imagine taking Star Wars and shooting it back 2,000 years. And they look at Star Wars and go, what is this? What is Tatooine? And it's so strange. We understand it now. It's this genre of science fiction. They knew apocalyptic literature, and they knew the way numbers work in apocalyptic literature. And so because of that, they go like, okay, this is the full number of God's people. Where is Dan in this list? No Dan. He's left out of the number of the full people of God.
Why is Joseph listed if he doesn't have a tribal allotment? Because it was split into
Ephraim and Manasseh,
Yeah.
because it lists Levi. And Levi is not listed in the other list because he doesn't get a land. He gets cities within each land. The Levites don't get a land allotment.
So you're saying because Levi's listed, they also list Joseph?
Yeah, because now Ephraim and Manasseh are joined together. That's
Ephraim,
Joseph.
Manasseh's there listed as well.
Yeah, and so Joseph would be Ephraim.
Okay.
But Levi here takes the place of Dan, if you will, in the listing. Sorry, I said that confusingly. Just to finish the thought on Revelation, the use of numbers, take a look at verse 9. Because if in verse 4 he hears the number, and that's kind of important to know, he hears the number. He doesn't see the people. He hears the number. Ah, okay, there's the number. But then when he sees something, look at verse 9. What is it? So it's the full number of the people of God. But Dan's not there. What happened to Dan? You were on the way up. What do you think happened to Dan?
Got distracted, drifted away. Life got easy.
This happened. That's good. This happened.
But I mean, it's like it's in our own lives. We tend to be drawn back when we go through struggles and difficulties and face trials. We tend to get close to God. When life is easy, everything's going fine, we tend to be pretty confident we can handle life on our own. From the looks of this, it looks like Dan arrived. They were living the good life.
Mm-hmm.
No need for God.
Right? Reinforced by whatever Jeroboam wants to create up here.
Oh, they had spirituality.
Spirituality, you bet. Let's look at one more passage. Turn to Jeremiah chapter 8. Remember, Jeremiah is a prophet in Jerusalem. We'll go to verse 15. We hoped for peace, but no good has come. For a time of healing, but there was only terror. Look at verse 16. There's the Babylonians coming over the Fertile Crescent, and they're coming down off of the Damascus area. They're coming through here in Jerusalem down the way, and Jeremiah says, you know, hey, listen carefully. You can hear the snorting of their horses at Dan. Here they come. The snorting of the enemy's horses is heard from Dan. At the neighing of their stallions, the whole land trembles. They have come to devour the land and everything in it, the city in Jerusalem, and all who live there. It's the word of Jeremiah. Horses are already at Dan, folks. Here comes God's judgment.
Yeah, they're first in line to get it too, right?
Yeah, they are. This was already gone, right? The Syrians had taken it and conquered it. This was part of Tiglath-Pileser back in 733. So this was Israel, the northern kingdom, and this territory of Galilee was gone. But down in Jerusalem, Jeremiah says, "Yeah, remember Dan? That horses are already at Dan."
And is that him kind of personifying the Lord's judgment?
Sure.
Identifying the foreign invading army as the instrument of the Lord's judgment.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Verse 17 says, I'll send these enemy troops among you like poisonous snakes you cannot charm. They'll bite you and you'll die. I, the Lord, have spoken.
That's what I talked about, like historical and eschatological